everyone, welcome back to today's episode of the Hyla Home. Today I'm going to be sharing with you, because it's summer and it's super hot and miserable, fun things you can do in the summer if you're not going on vacation that are budget friendly. With all that aside, let's get into it. So now that the weather is getting warm and my daughter is getting a little bit older and starting to remember things, we've really been trying to do some more things as a family since we've kind of dropped the ball on that because of everything that has been going on in our lives. Now, obviously, we're still trying to save money because we're not done with the kitchen, so all of these things that we have come up with are pretty budget friendly. Now, the first one is probably obvious, and it's a favorite that I used to do with my family, he used to do with his family, now we do together, is going on hikes. Obviously, if you have super little ones, this isn't super convenient for them because you're either having to carry them or they can't navigate the rough terrain. However, there are a lot of parks and mini hikes that are super easy, so you don't have to be going up steep cliffs or rocks, and maybe it's just stairs the whole way, and that can also be super fun. We typically stick to maybe a mile, maybe a mile and a half at the longest, and the few times that we've brought our daughter, we haven't brought our second yet, it's been pretty decent. We just put her on our back. We have one of the backpack type baby carriers, and just make sure you bring water because your little one will need water, and it's been pretty good. Obviously, hiking gets better with the older your kids get, but you can kind of take this and also do it for walking, going to the park, walking. So essentially just going to places outside, whether it be a hike, a park, maybe a place to ride bikes, maybe a lake, and just taking some strolls, you and your family. It's a great idea. The second one I have is picnicking. Now, you don't have to go anywhere for this. We do this all the time outside. We'll lay a blanket out in the shade and we'll just make dinner or breakfast. Typically, we don't do lunch outside because of nap time. And we sit outside and eat as a family, and it's been super fun. Now, we have littles, so they just kind of sit there and we can feed them. Obviously, if you have maybe more rowdy children, get up and just get going. This can be a little bit difficult, but I've noticed that it's just a fun way. Take some time as the family and just do something fun. Maybe be a little bit more relaxed. Let them get up from their food before it's done and run around. We don't really care if we make a big mess outside because we're outside, and so we have steak dripping down our arm because the kids ate it with their hands or something. We just ignore all that and wipe everyone down before going inside. So picnics, great idea for the summer. You can make it super fun. You can bake cookies or maybe a special treat to go outside. Pack it all up in a little basket if you have one. Just make it fun. Make it a experience that your kids are going to enjoy and look forward to, and then set aside a day to do that, and that will be in some ways just as fun as going on vacation. I know it was, at least for me when I was a kid. Another one is going and taking family photos. Now, I'm not talking about getting a photographer and having a photographer meet you and take family photos. I'm literally talking about taking your phone somewhere cool. Maybe it's just your woods in your backyard. Maybe it is outside in front of a historical building near where you live, or just maybe downtown or in the park. But taking some family photos gives you an excuse to get everyone dressed up and coordinated, going outside or inside, depending on where you're going, and just doing something as fun as a family. This is something we've started incorporating, and we do this about every month, and it's been super fun. Last time we went to a beautiful historical cemetery near where we live, and it just was such a fun experience for us as a family. Bonus points too if you mix this one with the last tip, and then you have a picnic afterwards, so it just makes the whole thing super fun. Another thing you could do is if you live near a body of water, whether that be the ocean, a lake, or a river, if there is any sort of allowance for you to go into the water to swim. I know some rivers specifically don't let you swim in them, but if you can, that's a fun thing to do as a family. My family did that once or twice, and it was so fun. Obviously, that is something you'd want to do with older kids, not so much little kids because of them drowning, but is definitely something funner to do with older kids. Thrift shopping. Now, if you're someone who really enjoys shopping and shopping just isn't in the budget or the means for this month, then thrift shopping is a great alternative, because if you're going to Goodwill or maybe a secondhand consignment store, then things are going to be so much cheaper and you still get that experience without spending as much money. Now, obviously, that one is not as budget friendly, but if shopping is sort of an essential for you, then this is a great alternative. I suggest the Goodwills. If you you have like a tiny local thrift store. So we have like a local thrift store that's like for the town, and so everyone donates everything to it. So things like that. Consignment shops are another great one. I wouldn't go to antique malls because they tend to be higher, and I wouldn't necessarily go to anything that's like has a bunch of booths, so there's multiple sellers and you don't typically get as good of a deal there. So I wouldn't go to those ones specifically, just your basic thrift stores, consignment stores, and Goodwills, or Salvation Armies as well. And the last one, and this sounds super funny, is make grocery shopping fun. So we recently had to go get milk, and we just browsed there for a while. We just made a day of it and didn't stress about being home by a certain time. Didn't stress that the kids wanted to look at certain things. We just browsed the store for a good hour or so. And at the end of the day, bought only what we were intending to buy, plus the ice cream. But we made the whole experience fun. And we shared an ice cream. So it definitely was a neat experience and a neat way to kind of change things up. My husband and I used to do that when we were dating. We'd go to Walmart at like 11 o'clock because who doesn't like Walmart at 11 o'clock at night? And we just walk and look at clearance and maybe get a snack, maybe not, but just enjoyed looking at the things and browsing, but not necessarily buying. So if you kind of change your grocery days to being more of a fun event as opposed to like a thing that needs to get done, then you're kind of adding some outings to your month and week that you wouldn't otherwise include in your day-to-day. So those are my ideas for the summer. I know that they kind of sound boring, but truly they can be made into fun little outings for you and your family. The main goal is essentially to just get out and hang out as a family and fill your summer with beautiful and sweet memories. So I hope those were some great ideas for you for this summer. Let me know in the comments what you're doing this summer. Thank you all so much for being here. Y'all have a great summer. Bye.